it is me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot, and we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy inside of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment, and if we want to see change, we do need to shift and change that energy within us. That's the only way we can make actual differences in the experiences we're having in our lives. It's literally the only way. If you don't shift your energy and you don't like where you are, you're just going to stay there. So energy must be shifted, and hopefully these readings that I do for you each week help you to do this. This is the week ahead reading, so we can take a look at what to expect this week, what we're bringing in, what our current energy is. I look at, again, like I said, masculine and feminine energy, the masculine energy of the mind, the headspace, the intellect, which can be reflected back to us in a person who leans more into their masculine energy, and the feminine energy of the heart, emotion, receptivity, which can be exhibited in somebody who leans more into their feminine energy. It has nothing to do with gender. I've been with plenty of people who are masculine gendered that are very, very in tune with their feminine sides, and the opposite. So, just know that this information is really, you can use it to reflect upon a relationship or a connection with a person. But again, like I said in the beginning, if you do nothing to shift energy, it doesn't go anywhere. And observing this energy as someone else's is being a spectator. And as Jim Morrison said, a spectator is a dying animal. You will forever be spectating, watching this other person's world unfold, listening to these things about this other person. The day that you switch over and start to be more interested in yourself is the day when you start to see the people that you are constantly interested in actually taking an active interest in you. One of the things I say as a twin flame reader is I do not buy the whole thing that, you know, when you're focusing on your person and, you know, you're constantly paying attention to them and everything, that they are doing the same thing for you. No, that's not how it works. If you're focusing on your person is focusing on themselves. And if you're focusing a little bit on yourself, a little bit on your person, then they're going to be doing that too in a more balanced way. They're going to give a little more to you. Why would somebody who's getting all of this attention from you, who needs it, usually because these people don't have a good, like, strong internal core spiritual connection, they haven't developed any of this, why would they suddenly decide that they, instead of getting all of this attention and not having to give you anything, that they just really want to give it back to you? Because there's really no reason to do that when you're the center of attention. When you become in a position where you have to be the person who is paying attention to yourself because everyone else has left you alone, that's when you become a good person. So let that person think about themselves and you think about yourself and see if there are any changes. If you haven't been doing that up until this point, I guarantee you will see some things shift in your life, 100%. Okay, so that's my lecture, but now I'll get off my soapbox and we will look at the week ahead. Now, last week I started doing this fun thing where I do a little bit of junk food reading on the week ahead reading so that for those of you that are really into that style, you can get a little taste. I didn't do a full junk food reading last week. Or I did do a full junk food reading last week, I mean. So you can go see the full one if you missed it. It happened on Wednesday. But basically, I have one pile here in front of me. For people that have just happened upon my page, this is the first time you're hearing me do a reading. Or you've been seeing my readings come up in your feed, but you haven't actually subscribed yet or followed. This is just more of a collective energy in this first pile. So if that is you, then this is a message for you about where you are right now in regards to a connection with a person. We have heartbroken coming up here. This says deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, or mourning. Now, this can be you or the person that you're focused on or somebody around your person. Then we have trust. God is the master of life here. So, I think the biggest issue for people who are in this group is either themselves or someone else really having had to heal from trust issues. And we're going to, at the end of the reading, after I'm all finished with the week ahead, I will pull cards to get a little bit more information about this story. But if you've been experiencing separation, breaking up, feeling lost, grieving or mourning, or you know that that has caused you to have trust issues, then this pile that I do at the end will likely give you some insight into what's going on there. All right, so the second group, this is for people who have subscribed. You do already follow me, probably on multiple platforms. You comment, you're engaging, that kind of thing. This is for you. What's going on for you right now? We have abundance. Keep a positive mindset. Manifest exactly what you want. Gratitude and bliss coming up. Free will fuck you up with a masculine energy and some lightning there, which is giving tower energy. And then randomly you got a second card with this autumn. This can be about time, but you know I'm not a reader who talks much about time because time isn't real. It's not linear, and there's really no sense in saying when something's going to happen because of free will and the fact that you can literally shift and change what timeline you're in. But if you stayed in this timeline and you didn't move, maybe autumn is significant, or maybe this is just a significant time for you and your person in general. The thing that I'm seeing here is that autumn is also a time of abundance too. It's a time of harvest. And this card about free will is really interesting. The lightning strike on it is giving me tower vibes. Free will is kind of what takes us away from the timeline that our higher self has put us on. Our higher self is like, here, you want that? Okay, here you go. Here it is. Follow my inspiration. And you're like, okay, I'm going to follow my inspiration and I'm going to head towards this person. And then fear intervenes. Fear steps in and is like, you know, whatever wounds or traumas you've had, you fear, like for instance, trust issues, right? That could be a fear that gets in your way. And then once the fear happens, you have that moment where you either have to lean into the strength energy, where you just gentle that beast of fear and continue along the path that your higher self has laid, or you do something different than what your higher self has asked of you. Because you do have the free will, you don't have to go where your higher self says. So if you do that, it takes you away from this path where you wanted to go. So what I'm seeing from this story is that right now, these people in group 2 need to keep a positive mindset, focus on gratitude and the bliss they're experiencing right now, and continue to do that, because that's going to lead you to this place where you're going to be able to receive all of this abundance, of course. But also, I think someone in your connection has maybe, you know, made a choice that's taken them off the path to share this abundance with you. And they're maybe going to need some time, I think, to turn things around. And you need, if you want to stay in this connection, remember, you have free will. You don't have to stay in this connection. And sometimes staying in a connection is going against your free will. Sometimes is going against your higher self. Sometimes when you stay in a connection that isn't for you, then it fucks up this path to abundance that you have. So that's some issues with that coming up, and we'll close out that story after the week ahead reading. And then the final pile, this is for my subscribers. This is people who are subscribed. It's only $1 at the lowest tier to subscribe, and you get access to all of the content that's there, which is like over 100 readings for members. And I have an announcement today that I actually saved for this point. I do not believe I'm going to be reading live on TikTok anymore. I may do lives on YouTube, but I think I am done with TikTok. It's not been a friendly environment for me recently. And I just don't want to continue to give them a ton of my free labor. And now during the lives, if people aren't constantly liking them and sending diamonds, we get these little captchas that come up to ask if the live is still active. So I have to stop in the middle of my collective reading or a personal reading. I have to perform a captcha activity. It's usually like dragging this puzzle piece across or whatever. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to interrupt my flow and tell everybody they need to like my live. That's just not how I roll. If that's what TikTok wants, that's fine. But I don't want to read that way. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to have 4 members free live streams. They're going to be via Zoom, which means you're going to be able to talk to me. You're going to be able to look at me, see me and I can see you if you want to use your camera, but you don't have to. You don't have to use your audio either. You can just chat if you prefer just chatting rather than speaking. There's a chat in Zoom. But they're going to be private. It's going to be limited spaces, which seems to make sense anyway because my lives have been attended by about 10 to 15 people regularly in the last year. I'm not getting the kind of numbers I used to get, which is honestly nicer for being able to read everybody's cards. And then you'll be guaranteed to receive a card reading when you come to a Zoom live. So basically, I will have limited spots, about 10 paid tickets for non-members, and it's going to be $5 to attend. If you're a member, it's going to be completely free, but if you are a non-member, it will cost $5 to register. And the reason I'm doing that is because people who are registered as, or who are members, are making a monthly commitment. And, I just want a chance for people to try my reading style, see if it's for them or whatever, and then be able to make up their mind whether they want to be a member or not. If you're a member at a different level, you will get more cards. If you're only a $1 member, you'll get one card. If you're a $5, 15, 30, I'll do more cards for you. So that's how it's going to work. And if you're if you're somebody who pays $5 for the tickets, I'll be pulling 3 cards for you. So that's how I'm going to do it. If you're interested in that, there's going to be a link today on my website where you can go sign up for the next one. And if it's at a time that doesn't work for you, send me an email of times that would be really great for your schedule, and I will set up live streams around your schedule so that you can come, because I'm sure there's going to be other people who will be able to come at that time too. So I'm just going to pick a general time for this first one, and then I will adjust for members or for people as it going forward. And I think that's going to be great because there's going to be an event. You can check and see if I'm going to do a live. You know when I'm going to come, and you'll receive an email 30 minutes before to let you know that it's going to be happening. So that's what I'm doing. Remember, always free for members. So check that out. And I'm excited about that. It was a lot of fun to do the listening parties that way. And I got to really talk to people that had discovered me as a reader a few years ago. It was my chance to just communicate with them. And it felt so much more powerful than when I'm just talking at the screen and people are texting me with chat. So that's how I'm going to do it from now on. Okay, for you, for members, this story for you. We are getting I like you, someone likes you, romance is blooming, fun, flirting, and want to date. And then I'm seeing travel, moving, and trip coming up. So I've got here, for some people, there is someone who likes you enough that they want to travel to where you are so that they can continue to pursue something with you. In other cases, this is an interesting message, but if you've been thinking about moving, if you do move to this new place, I feel like this romance will be in the air for you. That there's something about where you intend to move that's like that whole process of moving and everything, that you like, all the reasons that you're doing the move for, which don't really have anything to do with a romantic connection. And for the people that I'm feeling this out for, I think it's going to end up bringing in a romantic connection, either that you've been waiting for, like somebody from your past that you've been waiting for, they'll want to join you in this place, or it will just cause them to make a move, or you will meet someone new in that place. So those are the stories. I will finish those up after this week ahead reading. Let's get into it. So top of the deck, overall, mental energy of the masculine, energy of the mind is the 6 of Pentacles. This is from my Alice deck, which was a gift from Lindy. Thank you so much for sending me this gift, Lindy. And it comes with the Page of Pentacles, Divine Feminine, in overall for her, in the heart, in our feelings and our emotions this week. So masculine energy, 6 of Pentacles, reciprocity. I heard someone say that the 6 of Pentacles can represent a date before. I thought that was interesting. I've never heard that. I usually associate the 2 of Cups with that, but really the 6 of Pentacles is an opportunity to be reciprocal with somebody. So I could see that going on a date could be associated with the 6 of Pentacles, like when the person said that. Sometimes people say things and I'll be like, well, that's wild, but they said that and I'm like, no, that makes sense, because if you have a reciprocal feeling with somebody and you actually want to get out and meet them, that's the energy of the card. But it's giving back to somebody who has poured into you. And it's interesting because if you look, this in the Alice deck, the pentacles are these hedgehogs, and there are ones with their eyes closed and ones with their eyes open. And a lot of times I feel like even though this is just a pips deck, which means that the actual minor arcana, the swords and pentacles, wands, and cups are all there's no stories really on, it's just the images of like the 6 items. But with those eyes being open and some being closed, I feel like there's one person who is completely awakened and another person who has been asleep. And I do believe that the feminine is awakened, because the feminine, and I don't mean that just feminine gendered individuals are awakened and masculine gendered individuals are not. Please do not mistake my communication about this. The heart is awake. The heart is tuned in. The heart knows what it wants. It understands how to give back. It's awake. The mind has been sleeping on the job. The mind hasn't awakened to the value of mutual reciprocity because it's never experienced it this way before. I think the never experiencing something this way is something that gets a lot of people confused on this journey, because readers will say the relationship that you have with your twin flame is like something you've never experienced before, which makes it singular and the best of all possible relationships. No, no, I don't think so. Not at all. I have met few people who've actually come into union with somebody that they really feel was their quote unquote twin. Very few people that I know, that I have followed, that, not just people I work with, obviously, but yes, but also people that I follow, people that I listen to their readings. The people that I've been listening to for years, they're still talking about the same person and they're still not in union. I know that 100% from having followed them for so long. So I don't think there's a bunch of people that can really come and say, yes, this is the greatest relationship. Also, it's the last relationship that you decide to stay in is the greatest relationship, right? And if you don't have any other relationships after that, you're never going to be able to say for certain. So it's a stupid thing to assert about anybody. It's a way to protect yourself from actually having fulfilling relationships, because the fantasy of a connection that is perfect, that is the greatest, that is the best, that is the most fulfilling, is a fantasy that will be destroyed as soon as you actually bring it into reality. Because while we might be talking about divine energy, the divine energy just is imbued within us. It is not who we are as an entire being. We are human. We are inherently going to allow free will to fuck us up time and time again, because that's how we learn experience. Like that's going to happen. So knowing that, which you do know because you're a logical being and you're also tuned in enough to know that you're not a god, knowing that relationship that you have put up on the pedestal, and we talked about this at Friday's reading, the second that you take it down from the pedestal, it's going to be ruined in your mind, because it's not going to be that fantasy. It's not going to be perfect every second of the day. I never thought that was the goal. My thought about the twin flame connection is supposed to be that you have something profound and ineffable that you can't really totally understand or articulate. You know that there is this spiritual phenomenon happening, and it's your way of being awakened to your spiritual connection with the divine itself. Another person that you're focused on has the same experience. And if you're lucky, both of you heal through your connection with the divine. It has nothing to do with each other. Doesn't have anything to do with each other. You're not supposed to heal the other person, and they don't do fucking anything, and you sit there like this while you're doing all the work. That's not how it goes. All of that's like divine feminines. Together, we have to heal the divine masculine, and we have to defend him from demonic attacks. Fuck you, okay? That's centering. First of all, those people are not talking about masculine energy. They're talking about gendered or they'll be like, well, sexuality doesn't matter and you can have a masculine. You're inserting heteronormative behaviors onto a sacred spirituality that has nothing to do with heteronormative behaviors, because heteronormative behaviors are a social construct. I'll say that for the people in the back. Heteronormative behaviors are a social construct. Social constructs are not spiritual, period. They are not. They exist for various reasons that have to do with control, that have to do with safety and protection, but they do not have anything to do with our spiritual life. So, there's no women or feminine identifying people who are supposed to do all of this healing work while these dumb fucking assholes who are sit there and do nothing. That's just not how it goes. I hate that. I hate it. Whenever I come upon a reader that is saying that, like, my toes curl. And I've seen a lot of great readers say that because they're parroting back stuff that they hear on the fucking internet. It's so annoying. Okay, I don't know why. It's Aries season, so I'm like up in arms about this topic. Okay, back to this. So the feminine energy inside of self is awakened to the connection with the divine, and the mind has been sleeping on the job. And in this masculine energy right now, the mind knows I must not take more than I give, and I must not give to someone who takes more than they return. Okay? That's the overall energy of this week. Really, really insisting to yourself that you will not be breadcrumbing, if that's something that you've been doing, or that you will not be receiving breadcrumbs, if that's been something that you are doing. That you are going to insist upon reciprocal, mutual behavior, period. The feminine energy of the heart space, we have the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is playful, has a good time, has fun, is adventurous, does things one step at a time, takes things one step at a time. The octopus is coming up from the deeps. This is the creature that lives in the deepest part of the subconscious. The many arms, the many legs. It's like grasping at all these different ideas and trying to bring them into the physical. And there's an overwhelmment there that requires you to just simply focus on one thing at a time. Something about that is coming up for feminine energy. Not trying to like create in the materials so many things at once, but just one thing at a time. Being more focused. But the Page of Pentacles for me also is about really assessing something. So if you receive an offer, taking a look at the offer and being like, okay, is this really in alignment with what I deeply feel would fulfill me? So I believe divine masculine energy intends to give you something this week because they want to reciprocate. They have awakened to the fact that you have been giving them a lot of things, and they want to give you something material to focus on, perhaps. This can also just be like in terms of the workspace or whatever. Somebody sees your talent and wants to offer you something. And it is your job to take a good look at it and assess it and feel whether or not it is. It's weird that I'm just like, here, jacket, hold this card for me for a minute. That was odd. But assessing whether or not something is truly reciprocal. Okay, that's the overall energy. The underlying energy of the week for the divine masculine, we have the Six of Swords, which is in alignment with that travel, moving trip card that we got. So I do see this person traveling this week. And then we see the Strength card, which I didn't even realize was here when I was talking about the Strength card, but here it is, which is in the feminine energy. I said you really have to get, you have to use the strength of the mind to keep fear from taking over and just believing in that higher calling so that you can continue going along that path and not let fear cause you to deviate. Although every deviation is a divine detour. It's going to take you along a path that you want to go, but your desires may shift based on the deviation from your initial path. So that's why you could end up going in a direction that wasn't what you initially intended. And there's many times where you do want to do that. So the divine masculine energy is wanting to travel. He's learned his lesson. We've got 2 6s here, so I definitely feel like this person is learning something about loving choices, like in regards to the things that they love, the people that they love. It's all lessons having to do with that, I believe. And then the feminine energy here is just really having to maintain that strength where you trust in the heart and you remain optimistic, you remain confident, and you're not letting your fear run away with you. Which also makes sense too if you're assessing someone's offer to you, that you're doing it from a place where you're not emotionally reactive. Like if somebody hurts you and they're coming back, because we saw the heartbreak and the trust issues coming through for some of you. Somebody hurt you and they came back and they offer you something. The strength card is having the strength to not be swayed either by emotions for or against the person. Being able to use your mind to accurately assess whether the offer is truly reciprocal or not is really important. What are you carrying in from last week? We have the 5 of Pentacles, so we have a little bit of a sense of poverty or lack coming in from last week. And then the Knight of Wands, which is this fast-moving, spontaneous energy, bold, but it's inconsistent, inefficient, ineffective. It is passionate energy, though. Maybe last week you actually did have like a lack of passion, like or you felt like people had a lack of passion toward you, something like that coming in. That's just a general thing. But for the masculine energy, there was a focus on what the mind felt the body, the person was lacking, themselves. There's also a feeling of being left out in the cold. This is a cold feeling. The heart having this Knight of Wands in it, it's a fiery, warm feeling, and wanting to be in the warmth of the feminine energy is coming through to me. Feminine energy perceiving the masculine to be in this Knight of Wands energy, where there's this maybe excitement or passion there, but there's not consistency, so it doesn't really turn into anything. You just keep coming up empty. Maybe you get little bursts of money here and there, but it's not enough to take care of what you need to take care of. It doesn't come consistently enough. So that can be also in terms of money and finance this week, but it can also be in terms of affection, love, attention, sexual energy. It's just not enough coming your way. You're just not feeling it. So you're bringing that in from last week, which we'll take a look at them. We'll see the other cards before we kind of address that, because wherever you are right now, it's going to affect the outcome. If you don't like the outcome, the benefit of my reading is that you can shift the energy, right? If you brought in lack and feeling like you can't be consistent from last week, and that's going to put you in not a great place at the end of the week, then you know what it is that you need to work on this week. What are you currently in? What energy are you currently in? Another 6? Oh, no, it's a 7. Okay, they're counting this middle flower. The 7 of flowers. But very interesting that I saw the 6 there first. The 6 of flowers, and the flowers in this deck are wands. And the 6 of flowers for me would be success, right? It would be victory, whatever. Public recognition. The 7 here, this would be standing your ground, and it's a fight energy. It's like fighting for something. With all the 6s coming out, fighting for something you love is coming to me. We're also seeing progression because we're moving from the 6 to the 7. But there is also this potential for the 7 of Wands to be actually working to fight off ideas of failure, because the 6 of Wands being success for me, and standing your ground and believing in your success, is like just trying to like whack any feelings of failure that might be coming through. That's the energy that you're currently in. You're standing your ground. You're not believing in any of the ideas you have that are suggesting that you couldn't be successful. Now, sometimes the 7 of Wands can indicate that you are actually fighting against your own success. Which, again, we'll see where this is going to see how that's going to play out. But that's a shadow that can happen with the 7 of Wands. With the 7 of of Wands. And then for the Divine Feminine, we have the Fool energy. So this is a good thing. This is a fresh mindset, which you definitely need when you're looking at an offer, that you don't want your trust issues or insecurities to interfere with. You need to the blank canvas that was requested really by the money energy last week. If you saw the Tell Me Everything reading I did on Thursday, it was a love letter from money, and money requires that the Divine Feminine have a blank canvas in order to be able to come in, because what's happening is you're focusing on all the ways that things didn't work out in the past, and then you just keep perpetuating that. So I really like that Divine Feminine's current energy is fresh start, new beginning, springtime, taking the leap, throwing caution to the wind, no more hesitation, let's go for it. That's where she is. Really good energy there. And then where's this all going? Assuming everything goes as planned, where's this all going? This is if you take no advice. You don't take any advice, this is just what's going to happen. We've got the Page of Flowers. I incorrectly read this card today. I thought it was cups because I'm not used to this deck first, and there's actually teacups in this deck. But the flowers always makes me think of the hearts. So when this card came out, I read it as the Page of Cups in the reading that I did on TikTok. Was it today or yesterday? I think it was last night. So then, but I don't take back what I said in the reading because of the flowers, and there was this innocence about it. But it's actually the Page of Wands, which is starting something up and initiating something. And the fact that I mistook this for love, for me, is giving me this feeling that if you do nothing this week, you're still going to start in some way. You're going to initiate something towards something that you love to do, or with someone that you love, but it's exploration and adventure that matches Divine Feminine's material exploration and adventure. So there is Divine Masculine energy is inspired to initiate some kind of a communication. There is an idea here to initiate communication with the feminine energy. The feminine energy, where are you going? If you do nothing, the star energy. So the star energy is wishing upon a star, being hopeful, being optimistic, which is what Divine Feminine is needing to be in order to create the reality she desires, the reality that she's wishing for. The star card is also on that glow up, people seeing you, people recognizing you. And it's healing energy. It's healing the parts of the self that didn't really believe that you could take your unconscious and make it real. I think you're going to get some kind of a small gesture this week, probably some initiation of contact of some kind from somebody, or a small offer to work with somebody that's going to help reinforce your belief in yourself and your dreams and the things you're wishing for. So that's if you do nothing. Now, you can do some things to fix the Five of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands so that you can start releasing that lack energy a little bit more and the feelings of inconsistency that you have. Those are the areas, if I were you, that I would just work on this week. And focusing on the opposite of focusing on lack is focusing on wealth. Best way to do that is gratitude and bliss. And for the Knight of Wands, the opposite of being inconsistent and efficient is starting to do something every day consistently, something small for yourself, which also is indicated by the Page of Pentacles. If you choose some small habit that you would like to create that you think will impact you in the long term. So for instance, let's say you're worried about your health. One of the easiest things to do when you first start focusing on your health is to pick one small thing and change that one small thing. Let's say for 9 days. 9 days is how many days I do a novena. So 9 days, you do the one small thing. And then after 9 days, you add another small thing. And then after, this is so effective because it's not overwhelming to you or your energy or your pathological demand avoidance normally to do one small thing. So it could be, I'm going to drink 1 whole liter of water today. That's I'm going to focus on doing that today. It doesn't matter what I eat, doesn't matter if I move my body, doesn't matter if I make a doctor's appointment, but I'm just going to drink that much water. Like, let's say that's what you want to do. And so you focus on that. If it's in terms of romance and relationships that you're really feeling kind of cruddy in, then, I want you to pick one activity that you could do every day that would be a romantic gesture towards yourself. Like, I want you to think of something that you would like a partner to do in a relationship. One of the things I always want is I want to like watch certain shows. Like, there's certain shows that I feel like, oh, I feel like me and my person would really enjoy this show, or I want to watch this show with somebody. Pick somebody from your friend group that you know would really enjoy watching that, and set up a weekly time where you get together with that person and you watch a show together so that you have that camaraderie and companionship. On a daily basis, I want you to do things that make you feel like you have a partner. You could do literally like body doubling for when I work on my computer. I will put somebody who has like an ASMR Pomodoro technique where they're like typing and whispering while they do their work. And I'll put that on and have that on while I'm working. And it really does make me feel like there's someone else there. And those little things, I know it's not the same. And for some of you, it's going to make it worse at first. It's good because you're what's really happening is you're resisting your own company. That's what's happening. And if you're resisting your own company, the chances that you feel that other people will resist your company is very high. Very likely. It's very rare that you have somebody who feels like they don't like to be with themselves, but everybody else likes to be with them. That could be a Leo, somebody who has false bravado. Everybody loves me, but I don't love myself. I'm hiding, that kind of thing. But that's very rare. Most people who are isolated and alone and hate that and don't like it and rail against it every day really, really, really have a hard time with their own company. And they feel that other people will. And if you feel that other people will, then they will. They will. So you have to shift that. So doing things to every single day, one little thing every single day that makes you feel like you are enjoying your own company, an activity that you love to do, taking a walk alone, or with your pet. Another thing is if you have a pet, you can also fulfill your companionship needs through your relationship with your pet. And then people will be like, well, that's not enough for me. Of course you want more than that. But if you have gratitude for the fact that you have companionship in your life, you attract more companionship. If you feel sorry for yourself and like, oh, the only thing I have is my dog and I don't have anybody else. My dog can't talk to me and my dog can't do this and my dog can't do that. Then that's what you have. You have a dog that can't fulfill you or your needs, instead of knowing I need physical affection. When my dog comes and sits really close to me, that's physical affection. When my family members, when my friends hug me, that's physical affection. I have physical affection in my life. I don't lack that. The more that you emphasize what you do not lack, the more you're going to get it. And the more you do that on a consistent daily basis, instead of just a little bit here, a little bit there, the better it's going to be. All right, your final oracle cards for the week. We have, that's not the one I'm supposed to do first, but plan a vacation with the travel card coming up. Okay. The first one I'm supposed to do is horse spirit. It says freedom is yours. Horses are sometimes associated with strength energy. So strength seems to be a big one this week, especially since when I did the Friday love reading, we had this build strength card that came up for that reading. So freedom is yours. This is what horse spirit would say to you today. And horses will be your spirit animal for this week as well. So when you see them, think back to this message. When horse spirit appears, you are gifted with the spirit of movement and freedom. It is a time for travel and adventure, whether that means a trip somewhere or taking a different type of journey, one of freedom, of choice. Horse spirit reminds you that no matter the circumstances, you have free will and choices that can take you far away to a better place a better situation, a better state of being. For there is no one but you to reign in your will, to make a different decision. You are capable of making powerful choices that will affect you for a long time to come. Horses are social animals and known to be a friend to mankind, willing to carry us forward when we need it. Horse spirit reminds you that help will be available to you whenever you need it, and companions will be by your side wherever you choose to go, whatever direction you choose to travel. Life is an adventure, and horse spirit wants you to know that whatever choices you make, you have great spirit within, invisible, yet holding you up and always walking by your side. If your inquiry is about a relationship, you can set your heart free to experience love in all forms. Spirit whispers to you that the gift of freedom is yours if you allow yourself to break out of your perfectionism and stubbornness. Make a move and enjoy the freedom of letting go of the need to control. So that's chariot energy right there too. Big moves happening and travel for you, I guess. 100% coming up in this reading, especially for my members. So, and the reason I think that separating the storylines that I'm going to finish at the end here between people who don't subscribe, people who do, and people who are members, is that the groups get smaller, so it's a more and more accurate reading. So if you subscribe within the next 7 to 10 days, or become a member within the next 7 to 10 days, it's likely that you're really in alignment with the people in that smaller group. And that's why I decided to split it up that way. We've got here Message in a Bottle, number 15. Again, with the energy of travel, right? There's this thing that travels, it moves through the water, and it moves where the currents take it. It doesn't have control over where it's going, and I think that's something that's really coming up. I would love to be moving. And the only thing that is going to help, I've been trying to move for 2 years. Now, my mom is having a heart surgery on the 29th, and I'm now acutely aware that one of the reasons that I got stuck here is because my family needed me. But my mom's surgery is going to be finished. She's going to go through her recuperation, her recovery. And then there really isn't a reason for me to be in this house. I can go where it is that I would like to go, and I want to do that. But one of the obstacles to that has been financial. I have not had a good month financially in over a year or more, probably. And I don't really know what I could possibly do to shift that, because I've done everything suggested I do. So I know that it's likely a mental block. And I'm working on that. So one of the ways that you can help me work on that is by becoming a member, sending donations, and booking private readings at the link in my profile. Even small donations make a big difference. Sometimes I haven't been able to pay a bill because I've been $10 short, and someone has sent me a donation and I've been able to pay a bill that day. So don't think that, you have to always send huge amounts in order to help. Little amounts help too. And I appreciate it. And the more that I receive, the more I can share with others and continue that flow of money. So please help. Because I definitely want to move. The essential meanings of this card include communication, a sign, a Cledon, or the ancient name for a spontaneous oracle delivered innocently by the speaker, and pointing the way to your highest good. Spirit sends you signs when you ask for them, when you believe you will receive them, and when you allow yourself to become fluent in the language of symbols, oracles, and omens. They may come to you as a bird flying by, a logo on a truck, and a song on the radio. Expect confirmation that you're pointed in the right direction. Keep your ears open, for someone might say just the right thing that will give you the answer to your query. Today, your message is this: Spirit hears you, and the reply is favorable. The relationship message is you can expect someone to favor you with positive news. This could be in the form of a letter, phone call, or email. You are the intended receiver of this message, so stay open to what you learn. Only good will come out of it in the end. The signs are all there. So that kind of bodes well for the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. I do see you getting communication and relationships this week. Prosperity message. You are on target with your purpose and your passion. You are coming into alignment with your destiny, and Spirit wants you to know that you're on the right track. Expect a call, a new opportunity, or a message from an old friend or business contact that will lead you closer to your dreams and greatest desires. Spirit has been listening to you. Wow. I definitely think this is true in both love and career and finance this week. I do see that message coming, and I think it's going to actually cause movement in a major way, like maybe relocation, or going somewhere to do some kind of a business trip, or there's definitely something coming up there. All right, let's see. I was just picturing somebody calling and booking me for an event of some kind, and me saying, yeah, I'll need a car to pick me up, and I'll need this taken care of and this taken care of. That was a strange feeling of being like, in the past, somebody asking me to do something, and I would think about, well, I have to pay my car insurance because I haven't been able to pay my car insurance. I have to get my car paid. I have to get my car registered because I haven't been able to register my car. So I won't be able to go. No. If somebody calls and asks me, come here, do this, I'm going to be like, great, I'm there. Send a car for me. Send this, send that. And I'm there. Like, this worthiness in you has come so far that that's how you're thinking. That's coming up for me. 39. So your self-care activity this week is to plan a vacation. This mantra is, I find adventure and inspiration everywhere. Literally what these two cards are. Adventure and inspiration. So the feminine energy, this week I feel like you're really going to get a blessing. I feel the Six of Pentacles and the Six of Swords coming out from your person, who is leaving behind a Five of Pentacles energy and moving into an energy of really fighting for their success, is definitely knows that their success is coming from initiating some kind of contact or offer. 100%. So get ready for a magical journey filled with synchronicities. Taking the time to go on vacation can give you a new perspective, spark inspiration that will nourish your soul on the deepest level, and bring more joy to your daily life. We all have a bucket list of places we'd like to visit, and there's no time like the present to get started on working toward making our dreams a reality. But planning a vacation requires just that, planning. If there's a place you'd like to travel that seems out of reach, making a budget and timeline for your trip can help guide you in the right direction. Balancing work and vacation time is essential to well-being. If there are some roadblocks to planning a vacation, or if money is tight, don't immediately set your dream plans aside. Rather, take a look at what commitments in your life would need adjustment to make the necessary time, space, and resources available. If you need to wait a while, consider how you can satisfy your craving for adventure with a staycation, or by creating experiences that expose you to new cultures and ideas in your own community. Read a book in translation, see a movie produced in another country, or switch up your dinner routine and try that restaurant serving food that seems exotic to you. Your journal prompt is, what small and practical steps can you take to manifest the resources and time you need to take a vacation? One TikTok video I saw last week was this woman who was talking about how you have to show the universe that you have some skin in the game. And one of the ways that she does this is she got in her car, she went to a new place, and she needed to get an apartment that day. She had decided she was going to move to this place. There was only 6 places available, and she could easily have slipped into self-doubt that it wasn't going to work out. But what she did instead is she went and she bought a really nice expensive set of dishes, knowing that that expensive set of dishes would not fit in her suitcase, so she could not go back home in defeat. She if she was going to keep that she had just invested in, she would have to have a place to stay. And she said that this is her way of showing her higher self, showing God, showing the universe, whatever you want to call it, that she has some skin in the game, that she trusts, that she's willing to trust. So what small practical step can you take to manifest? So doing something that I want to say hurts a little bit, because all magic requires sacrifice. And if your magic doesn't work and you're like, I don't know why my magic doesn't work, it may be because you're not performing any sacrifice when you do your magic. Sacrifice requires time, a sacrifice of time or energy. People do blood sacrifices, man. I don't do blood magic like that, but some people do. I don't judge anybody for doing that. That just freaks me out a little bit personally, because I don't like pain, so I don't want to inflict pain upon myself. But sacrifice is a big part of magic, so make a little sacrifice and trust. All right, so now let's finish up these stories for the 3 piles that I had. We had the first pile, which is if you just happened upon here, and if you stayed this whole time, thank you. I hope that you got a lot out of this reading. That's amazing. And a lot of your questions get answered in that week ahead reading, so it's really good to stay for the whole reading. And then, of course, we have that second pile, which is people who are subscribed to the channel, who subscribe on other platforms, who engage, comment, that type of thing. We're going to finish up your story. And then the final pile, which is, of course, the members. Members. And this one is, of course, the most accurate, the most specific, because it's the smallest group at the moment. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here at this. So think about how much more accurate the members pile is, because this one, of course, is however many people happen upon this. The second one is like, I have 20,000 plus subscribers of unfollowers across all my platforms. And then the third one is for like, 11 people. So it's going to be like a lot more specific. And that's why I do that. Okay, so this first pile, this is just people who happened here today. You're not subscribed, you're not following me, but hopefully this message resonates with you and you decide to become a follower today or subscribe or become a member. That'd be awesome. But this is the rest of your story. So you've had some heartbreak, you've had some trust issues, you or your person has had that. And we are getting sudden change, shocking news, surprise epiphany of people, and transformation coming out with balance and justice. So I think you're going to be quite surprised by this initiation that I'm seeing coming through in this week ahead, this week, because I do see that there is some karma that's being rectified. I think it's interesting that we have lightning coming out again. We had lightning in the second pile, so you can see how each one of these stories kind of leads us closer and closer to this small collective that's like really aligned with my energy and at the same point on their journey. But this is tower energy for me. If you want to experience healthy connection, you have to release somebody who broke your heart, a karmic energy. It can be the person that you're focused on that you think is your twin is really just somebody who's meant to teach you a lesson. It can be somebody from your past. And when I say twin, I mean twin or soulmate. Somebody that you think, like, this person is for me, but really they were just meant to teach you a lesson. It can be an old, an ex-person that you still have issues with in some way, or you have shame, or you're blaming yourself, or... I just sense that there's a little bit of work to be done there for you, because I think that the person that you're connected with, if you are meant to be with this person, they have to completely end another connection. They have to divorce somebody, or they have to completely let go, or they have to heal a heartbreak and learn how to trust again. And it's also possible, if you're at a later stage in your journey, that you've both gone through that whole process, and you're going to be quite shocked at the balance and justice that's coming through to you now, because you've both completed a lot of steps to arrive at a much more positive place together. So that's your story. I do see you getting justice in regards to heartbreak. That's coming out for the majority of the collective. Now, for my people that are subscribers and followers, we had this strange interplay with this free will card and the autumn and abundance card, and it was very much like you need to keep this positive mindset. Again, the tower energy coming through with the lightning. And then what's interesting is we're getting soulmates and financial stability coming in for you, which is really in alignment with abundance. The autumn card is now really feeling like harvest energy for me. It's really feeling like Seven of Pentacles more than anything else. Like, I'm not a reader who's like, in the fall, you're going to have financial stability. I mean, maybe you could have that financial stability by the fall, but I'm not somebody who likes to read that way, because there is no fall. There is only just right now. Whatever freaking time of year it is for you, it's now. And this isn't like the year ahead reading, it's the week ahead reading. So I'm leaning more towards the Seven of Pentacles, which is like you've invested in something, you've put a lot of time and energy into it, it's growing, and it's time to harvest it. It's time to harvest the abundance. And this person that you are connected with is truly a soulmate. There is a twin flame card in this deck, but I don't consider twin flames, I don't think they're different than soulmates. I don't. I know people that annoys people, but sorry, I don't care. I don't believe that there's one single soul broken into two people. That's fucking stupid. There's one single soul broken into 9 billion people, 8.5 billion, however many people are in the world. That's, and all the animals and all the rocks and all the trees and everything, every single being. When you eat lettuce that was living, it's you. Like, this whole entire freaking thing is all the same. There's no separation. There is no separation. There is no separation. That's the point of the twin flame journey. The point of the twin flame journey is not to be like, my person and I are separated from everyone else by being one separate thing that's separate from everything else. And we're so special and we're so much higher than everybody. And we're just going to do this great big mission together. And we're going to be this big power couple because we're this one amazing, powerful, incredible person that's above everyone else. Does that sound very spiritual to you when you put it like that? Because that's what people are saying. It doesn't sound spiritual to me. Spirituality is understanding that everybody is the same, that everybody is deserving, that everybody is worthy, that everybody is a divine and human anthropos being. That's spirituality. Spirituality is not like your ego making a really cool story, bro, that makes everyone jealous of you. I hate that. So I don't distinguish. I think soulmates are just the people that we like to hang out with when we incarnate in various versions of our simulation. That's all I think it is. And I think our twin is just one of those people. Maybe it's just like your favorite person to do scenes with. You're just like, oh, I love doing scenes with this person. Like this person's energy. Or when you become this version of this person, it's so fun. But it's just you. It's just you. It's just a different version of you. Everybody. So what I am seeing, though, is that this person in your life, they knew the path to abundance the whole time. They knew the way. They knew how to get there. And they kept deviating from that path. They kept going in other directions. They kept putting their attention on the physical, and they're not doing that anymore. We see them finally making good on the soul contract. Like, they had their free will, right? Like, soul contract is basically what I said. Like, what I like to imagine is that there's this, like, room before you come into incarnation, and you meet up with a bunch of different souls there that are ready to incarnate again. And you're like, oh, I loved incarnating with your energy, because each energy has its own, I would say, like, energetic imprint because of all the different experiences from that one energy passing through all the different incarnations. And you just like something about that energy. And so you're like, okay, you play this role. You play this role in my play. I love when you're the villain. I love when you're my mom. I love when you're my dad. I love when you play my favorite dog. I love whatever the hell. Like, that's what I like to picture. You can picture whatever you want. That's what I picture. And that person is finally like, okay, I did agree on this soul contract with you that I was going to come into your life. And I feel like I've achieved the financial stability I was interested in achieving before I did that. So I'm ready to make good on this contract. And the last pile. This is so crazy, guys. Okay. So I hope that people from the second and first pile watch through to the end, because it's like seeing the full story unfold. So this I like you thing that's happening, this person who's traveling to tell you that, which is my strongest feeling from this, or you're relocating and going to meet that person. I think, though, it's somebody that's like, I can't deny it anymore. I like you, and I'm going to call you with this love call and tell you about it. Expressing love, a message of love, thinking of you and letting you know. And the abundance card, which we just saw from this deck, and now it's here again in union for my members here. So if you are my member, 100% I guarantee you are going to receive some kind of a call. I mean, anybody who's at this reading, some kind of a call that you're going to love. And it's got to do with abundance coming towards you in it, whatever form that it is deciding to take. But that's absolutely happening for you this week. So you heard it here. I hope this reading has helped you. I hope you've enjoyed this reading with me. And I will see you again probably on Wednesday for either the Tell Me Everything, the junk food reading, one of those two things. Or if not, then I will be doing Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I reserve the right to not read on Tuesdays and one other day in the week, so I didn't take a break. But I will be setting up the event right now after I finish this and it's uploading. So you will see an event on my page for the next Zoom. I think that I'm going to make it in the evening so that East and West Coast people can attend, both East and West Coast people. And I'll try not to make it too late. Maybe like 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, somewhere in there. I'm going to look at my calendar and pick a time. But that's what we're going to do. So if you want to be at the live stream, it's going to cost $5 to come to the live stream. There's going to be 10 tickets. And then members, you will be able to come for free. And you will not need a ticket. I will be sending an email with the link to the live stream to you the day that the live stream takes place. So if you're a member, make sure you check your email. Make sure you check your spam mail if you haven't heard from me. And if you somehow do not get a link and you really want to come to get your free reading, please just send me an email and I will make sure I send you the link to the event. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all. Take care, and I will see you on Wednesday or Thursday.